What's going on, guys? I'm Pete, and welcome to Retro Game Attic. So summer flew by pretty quickly. I ended up picking up a bunch of cool games throughout the past few months. I figured why not document them and share some of the stories about how I acquired some of them. So let's check them out. Alright, so first up here we have some NES games. Now I went to the Too Many Games Festival earlier this summer out in PA, which is where I got these three. It was a pretty cool festival. I've never been to it before. And to be honest, I think it was a pretty high price of entry. So, I mean, I got decent deals on these, but in the grand scheme of things, I kind of just paid eBay prices. Whatever, it was more about the experience more than anything, and it was a pretty cool one at that. So the first one I got here is the original Ikari Warriors. Now, I never actually owned this game before. I always thought I did, but I was going through my NES collection, and for some reason I didn't have this one. I think I got it for around $8, and it is the 5-screw variant, so I thought that was a pretty good find. And then next up, we have Steet Cop. I think I paid around like $34 or $35 for this one, and this is an uncommon game by Bandai, where the power pad's actually required to play the game. I booted it up just to make sure it worked, and it did, but I do want to play this one kind of soon and check it out a little bit more in depth. Regardless, a cool one to find in the wild, or sort of in the wild, and pumped to have it in my collection. And then last up, we have Gilligan's Island by Bandai as well. I think I paid around like $20 or $25. I don't remember off the top of my head. I remember paying a little bit more than I was comfortable with, but I don't really see this one too often, so I decided to pick it up. And I did play it for a little bit. It is pretty frustrating. I do need to give it a little bit more of a chance. It's kind of understandable, aside from that old property, as to why it probably wasn't that popular, because first impressions aren't great, I gotta be honest. So those were the three that I snagged from Too Many Games. I actually got another NES game recently, Squeak. A little bit of backstory in this one. I actually found it on Facebook Marketplace in a lot of NES games. So I shot the seller a message and asked if they would sell it separately, which they agreed to, and I offered $40, and they actually accepted it. So that was a pretty good win all around. It goes anywhere from like the $125 to the $150 range on eBay, and it's a pretty uncommon one at that. So it's the 5-screw variant, as you can see. I was really stoked to find this one in the wild, and very happy to have it in my collection. And then moving along a little bit here, we'll do some of the Switch games. I got Princess Peach Showtime. Now I did take this one out of the package. I only got to play the demo so far. I know the game has pretty positive reviews, and I did have fun for the little bit that I did play it, but definitely a cool one, and I'm pumped to give it a shot. Now next up we have Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. Now this is the deluxe set, which I honestly didn't care about at all. All I cared about is actually having the physical copy of the game. So in order to get the physical game, you had to get the entire deluxe set, which there's definitely some cool stuff in here, but I really couldn't care less about it. Like, there's a gold NES cartridge, or repro cartridge. It's kind of cool, but again, it's just for show, or display rather. I'll probably just end up keeping it in the box. I actually thought the sleeve was a little interesting. You obviously can't tell from the video, but it seems to be like a thinner plastic than the original. It's got like a little light texture to it. It's kind of hard to explain, but just something I found a little bit interesting. And then there's other stuff in here that I didn't even bother opening up. I think there's stickers or some sort of paper paraphernalia. To be honest, I don't care. All I wanted was the physical copy of the game. And I did play through it for the most part. I kind of took a step back recently. I do need to get back into it again because the challenges were kind of fun. It was definitely reminiscent of NES Remix, which is a game I was craving a sequel to for all this time, and this seems like it's the spiritual successor. So pretty fun, and definitely geared towards the older crowd, like the millennial Gen Xer crew. Yeah, I definitely fit the bill, so I guess this game is tailor-made for old heads like me. But that is it with the Switch games recently, so let's move on to some box protectors. I actually just picked up a good amount of box protectors. I was going through some of my stuff in storage, and I noticed that some of my boxes were getting a little nicked up. So I got these from Retro Protection, and so far it seems like they have a pretty quality product. I definitely suggest you guys check them out. retroprotection.com. Super fast shipping. I think he had pretty good prices. They were definitely fair. So I got the NES cart dust covers, Super NES cartridge covers, and then 2 Game Boy Pocket box protectors, which I need to put on some of them. I also got my Game Boy Advance SP box protector. Now this is the one that I noticed. I bought this new back in high school, and I kept it perfectly, and as you can see, there's some little dents on the box, so of course I had to get it a little bit better protected. I'm a little bummed that that happened, but it's not the end of the world. And I also picked up a Star Fox 64 box protector because I bought this game new as well. So as you can see, the box is a little bit bigger than your standard N64 box, and I just never thought to get a standalone one for this, so I'm happy that I remembered that one. So I mainly got those loose cartridge protectors to better protect my more valuable cartridge-only games, so you can see for Squeak, of course. And and that's it. It fits pretty well. There's a little bit of bounce to it, but like the box says, it also fits Nintendo DS games as well. So overall, quality product, and like I said, I think you guys should check him out. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. I would love to be, but seriously, check him out. I think he has a good product. And then moving right along here, so I got all this stuff from a neighbor of mine. Their kid moved out of their house, and they gave me a lot more than this. They gave me a PS4, stacks of DS games, PS3 games, PS2, and so on. They told me to keep what I want and to sell the rest. That is exactly what I did, but I knew some of these were higher ticket items, so I ended up selling the PS4, the DS games, and whatnot. I gave them the money for all that stuff, and I told them I'm going to hold on to this, and they were cool with it. So I got some good stuff here. First up, we have Pokemon Soul Silver version. Now, I saw this was not for resale. There were no GameStop stickers or anything like that on there, and it seems like it's an immaculate shape, and it looks like it's a genuine cartridge. Could be wrong, so maybe in the comments one of you guys can let me know. Here we have Pokemon Black version, complete with the manual and all the paperwork, and this one also appears to be an authentic cartridge. It looks like it's like brand new. Next up, we have Pokemon Pearl. Now, I have Pokemon Diamond. That's the one that I bought new, so I was pumped to get this one. Missing the manual, but it's not the end of the world. Again, it seems to be a genuine cartridge. And then moving right along, we have Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars. Now, this one is also complete in box. The manual looks like it's brand new. Game's in great condition. Super cool. And then here we have Sly 2 on PS2. Like I said, there were a bunch of PS2 games that they gave me, and this is the only one I held on to. I'm familiar with Sly Cooper. I've actually never played any of them, so figured why not if I have one in my possession. The disc looks like it's in okay shape. I haven't tested this one out. If I had to guess, it probably works. And then moving right along, we have Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. This was the only one I kept out of the stack of PS4 games. It appears to be in pretty good shape as well. I've actually never played a Tomb Raider game. I know they were pretty popular back in the day when they first came out on the PlayStation and Sega Saturn and whatnot. I was just never into games like that with the weird tank controls. I've heard awesome things about the reboot, so hopefully I do get to this one eventually. And these ones here were a little bit of a bonus. I actually found this in one of the DS cases. It has that little Game Boy Advance cartridge slot, so I found a GBA game in there, and this is Pokemon Sapphire. And it's a little bit hard to tell from the video, but this appears to be a genuine cartridge. And I popped it into the DS Lite here, and the battery did run dry, so I'll eventually have to solder a new one in there, and maybe I'll make a video about that one. And then last up, we have Kirby Squeak Squad. Now, this is a little bit of a collector problem. All of my stuff is in storage right now. I am 99% positive I don't have this one, but there's just that little bit inside of me that thinks I do have this game already. So for the meantime, I'm just going to hold on to this. It's not in the best of shape. I probably can clean it up a little bit here. So eventually, when I get my game room set up again and everything, I'll go through my DS games and verify if I have this one or not. And if I already do, this one will be sold or traded. Here we have an Onyx Black DS Lite. It's in excellent condition. It even has the Game Boy Advance cartridge slot cover. Stylus is here. Comes with the AC adapter. And I think I'll hold on to this one because I do have the white launch edition that I got back in the day, but I never had the black one, so I'm pretty pumped to have it now. It'll be a good just daily driver or one to keep around to test around games with while I keep the original one in its box. And then last up, we have a PS4 DualShock controller. I don't know the technical name for this one. It's like a clear white or clear gray. It appears to be in really good shape. I messed around with it a little bit and it works fine. It's always good to have spares of these. I do have a black one, and then I do have the 20th anniversary gray controller. But like I said, it's always good to have these, and I feel like the official PlayStation brand ones are becoming a little bit harder to find, so it's definitely good to have extras lying around. So those were my summer 2024 pickups. What did you guys think? Did I get some good deals in there? I know you guys are going to have a lot to say about the games that my neighbors gave me. There's some heavy hitters in there. They were super cool to give them to me. I think they were just pumped for them to go to a good home, so for that, I am endlessly thankful. Anyway, please be sure to let me know what you guys think in the comments, and thank you so much for checking out Retro Game Addict. I really do appreciate you all. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you on the next one.